Welcome to the Higher Power Podcast, where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. We are your hosts, Frank Sieben and Jill Humphreys. On tonight's episode of the Higher Power Podcast, we would love to talk about situations that can make or break you. And we've been facing these kind of things this week together, Jill and I. Actually, before we do that, we want to say thank you for all the love and continuous support we receive throughout the week. It's just incredible. So we are beyond grateful for all of your love. Thanks. George Bernard Shaw says, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for these circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. This statement or this quote really represents the way we approach circumstances, especially in this podcast. So we invite you to adapt this thinking into your life.
Frank, thank you for such an amazing introduction. And yes, from me too, beyond grateful for all our subscribers and listeners who give us love and gratitude on an immense basis. And we are totally grateful for all of your time with us here. And I found the title tonight, Make or Break. I actually looked it up. It's an acronym. And this rhyming expression was first recorded in Charles Dickens' Barnaby Rudge in 1840.
Charles Dickens came up with this.
I know, and it actually replaced the 16th century alternative, which was make or mar.
Interesting.
And to mar was actually to go against. So I think it's very, very interesting what we've got to share tonight. And yes, this is all from personal experience.
Yeah, I actually love what you just said, go against, because this is exactly what we've done. We have gone towards the circumstances we were facing, and we didn't let these obstacles which came to us unexpectedly discourage us.
Well, I think we've spoken about this before, and if you go back to the 3-part series we did initially, our very first 3-part series podcast, and it was all on limiting beliefs and things that were barriers or actually held you back. And actually circumstances can hold you back greatly in any shape or form. They can come from others, their terminology, not being able to understand us, not being able to interpret what we're actually saying. We've also got to make sure that where we are when we're portraying a message is of the best place to be also, and not a concept of, well, this is my belief, but the concept of being on neutral territory and seeing what's highest good and the love and concern for all involved in whatever circumstances that may be.
And everyone has to encounter these circumstances in one way or the other. There are a million ways which are possible where they present themselves as a gift to our life. But once you overcome these circumstances and break through these terror barriers, you will live a more fulfilled life and you will reach your greatness.
How incredible is the body and the mind that at any one time you can be in such a good space, you can have things flowing, you can be so creative, but then life throws you a fastball, like we were, again, another podcast, when life threw us a fastball, really, and it prevented us from doing something. But how do we react? And this is the real crunch of the matter here. It's how you react that can either take you beyond reasonable behavior. And if you don't stop And that's step back, take a break, observe, and proceed. If you do not do that, the things you say you can't take back, you're adding fuel to a big enough fire already, if it's already happened. And what you're about to say probably is not what you want to really say, but you're coming from a place of hurt, doubt, fear, stress.
Yeah.
That will actually close any reasoning. You cannot reason once that red mist is there. You go down this road and you are just traveling at 100 miles an hour, and sometimes we're not capable of stopping, but if you're fortunate enough to have somebody to shout that word stop. And I think, Frank, you kind of laughed at me going back a few weeks ago, where I help my couples who come to me relationship-wise, and I've made them take these flags home.
Yeah. Beautiful idea.
When the rage starts, the flag has to come up.
Stop.
And the other person just either looks and says, oh my goodness me, here we go again. We're going to a place of disempowerment. We're going to a place where we shouldn't be going. This isn't what we're trying to do. We are letting these circumstances rule our day, rule our thoughts. And we've got to be realistic about the situation and see it for what it is. Not add all the fuel and the baggage that you want to bring into it in order to score points.
And it's also very important to make use of your power of now in this moment, because what happened or what life threw at you is already in the past. So once you understand that, you are the only person who can take control of the circumstances by using the power of now. Because once you ground yourself back into the now, that's where you can be proactive, reacting to what happened.
I like that. I like that very, very much. And I was just thinking there, we ask this a lot, don't we? How do you retain your power when something like this happens? And you've got to go back to, as Eckhart Tolle said, the moment before this happened. This moment before this did not exist.
Exactly.
Your values were your values, your integrity, your respect and love for humankind, your respect and love for yourself. And at any moment in time, this can take you away from that. But the power is being able to come and stand right back in that position again. Let your true self stand forward and say, if there is anything that I have actually done to cause this, I put my hand up, I face it, like you were saying in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If this has been misinterpreted, I am sorry.
Mm-hmm.
However, it doesn't alter who you are.
No.
But we don't stand in that power when we're in that moment, because we cannot think of anything else other than getting something back on that other person. Some name calling, some blame. You go to that really bad place and your energy completely gets depleted.
The power of now also enables us at that moment to see two sides of the coin. The one side of the coin is the obstacle, but on the other side of the coin, this is a law by nature, there's always another side of it. There is the growth, the opportunity, and the chances to make your life better from exactly what happened to you. And I would love to share what happened to us this week. We were facing a situation which was unexpected, and the situation could easily take us out, especially me, in my earlier true self. Just the power of now and the aspect that I stepped back and took a break because you told me to, Jill.
I could actually see where you were going, and I could see your power, your energy, even your lifeblood kind of draining away from you. And
even my voice changed again.
Well, everything changes, because when you're in disempowerment, it's helpless, it's a weakness, it's a fear. But this isn't really me. This is not what I meant. We can fight with ourselves about all these kind of things, but it's
actually really incredible how fast I was able to recover. It was instantly that my power came back, instantly that my strength came back, and also my voice completely, my whole physiology shifted again.
To let our listeners know, that does not happen overnight. That is something that you have to have a growth mindset about. And this is acceptance. This is forgiveness. This is being the higher power. This is being
gratitude.
Yeah, every time coming from gratitude, coming from a place of love. And this is not, by the way, us saying to you, be walked over, be taken for granted, don't stand up for yourself. This is completely not what we're saying.
No, it's really vital, because what happened to me this week tested my core values. And I would not apologize for anything I am, anything I stand for, my whole values, just to please another person. No. We are talking about being authentic and standing into your power when these things happen to you. And I also would love to take it a step further, because when you say to yourself, I would love to do something, but I can't because, everything after because is a circumstance you can change.
Yes.
By using gratitude, coming from the place of gratitude, coming from speaking from the heart, coming from utilizing the power of now, and coming from a growth mindset.
And that leads lovely into the segue of what did you learn from it? And I remember watching a video not so long ago with Oprah Winfrey, and she's had some incredible things happen to her in her life.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And these could have knocked her completely out of her power and out of her credibility. But she always comes back and says, this is who I am. This is me being me. I cannot take anybody's free will, free opinion, and I've no intention of doing that. But I've every intention of growing from this, of learning from this. So nothing in life is wasted. No circumstances come to you wasted, as long as you look at it for what it is and you see how you've grown in what it is. And you also know when the concept comes up again, the awareness that you've got from this can be incredibly empowering.
And it's also, if you see it that way, the way Jill just described it, it's all divine time. Because if you are aware of the danger, that's great. But if you are aware and search and recognize the opportunity, that's where your growth is. That's where you really connect to source. And this is the way you can program yourself to handle future situations which are similar or the same, even like this. You grow mentally stronger, and you don't shy away from these crises or from these obstacles you're running into constantly.
And that takes me right back to Tony Robbins again, because he talks about when you're being disempowered, and he tells us all, thank God for this worthy opponent, because this worthy opponent will make you grow.
That shows that these opportunities really can come in disguise.
Well, if we were prepared for all these things, I think the predictability of life would be extremely boring. For those who live with one of the six human needs being certainty, I think the uncertainty and the stepping into your fear is all about your growth mindset, Frank, that you were just talking about.
Yes. And I want to bring in another example where circumstances will not define or determine your future. I think just take a look at your educational system. There are so many people living a meaningless life because they have received bad grades and they have been told they are a complete failure in their reports. How sad is this? Most of them really adopted that image into their life. Well, there's also a story about a man who really was a poor student. And not only that, he also was made fun of when doing sports. However, he never let circumstances decide over his future and his life. His name is Soichiro Honda, and he has created a multi-million-dollar company. So I think this is an amazing example how you can really break through despite all the circumstances you're facing, and this can make or break you. The only difference of your life and these great achievers is persistence. Even and especially when life throws a fastball at you, do not lose your passion and enthusiasm, and know that your best way out is always through.
I love that, actually. And you can look at an incredible amount of people that have had the worst circumstances, the worst environment, the worst ever challenges in life. And that they've created something that is so giving, so gratitude-based, so all-encompassing. And you can say, well, a lot of us turn around and judge. Here we go again, the judge in the blame game. He was born into money. Yeah, it was easy for him. Yes. But then when you go and find out the circumstances, I always think of Nelson Mandela, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Locked up for
Incredible.
27 years and comes out and goes, okay, lock me away for 27 years, but guess what? I think I can align with you and we can help save this country.
He came from a place of pure gratitude and love.
But if anybody was going to think and play the blame game, he could have had permission.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't want that. He wanted to be stronger. He grew so strong. He grew so academically. He grew his mental prowess, his awareness. And if you've ever read that book, Walk to Freedom, Frank, it's an incredible book. And I actually go back and read some of that, because he always says when he was let out and he was given his freedom, if he decided to live in the past, he might have been in prison for years, forever. Because the prison that we put ourselves in when we come to these circumstances or situations can just close us down, shut us off.
Big time.
And it can be the worst thing that happened. But when you come back stronger, more aware, far more looking for a circumstance that could again take you there, even if you're not looking for it, it is around you and you must be prepared for it. If you're a person that's got their head above the parapet, guess what? You're going to be shot at.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, let's bring in Murphy's Law here. Murphy's Law is, if something bad can happen, it will happen. But honestly, I think this is really a very disappointing look to things in life, right? We don't want to see. So if you turn it around and say, if something good can happen, it will happen.
Well, absolutely. And I always say something really good is going to happen today. And I look for it. I wait for it.
Yeah.
It happens. And that could even be a friend just ringing me up and saying, hi, I haven't spoken for a long time. That could be meeting somebody when I'm out for a walk with my dog. That could be a flower I've never seen on my path. It doesn't have to be a huge thing.
No, especially the small things added on a daily basis are making the fulfilled life. I mean, we are still constantly in flow state, and this is because we adapt this thinking.
Yes, and incredible amount of growth this week. And we want to share it because we know there are people out there that may be in these circumstances right now. And right now is us saying to you, if these circumstances that you find yourself in are putting you in shackles, and it may be that these are your very near family, it may be that these are your children, it may be that these are your parents. You must look at the situation for what it is, not adding things that you want to put to this. And if you step up and be the bigger person and say, I love and care for you, I really don't want to be in this space. Can we not see this from a different viewpoint? And can we understand that we may disagree to agree on this situation? And so therefore we can help move the energy on rather than us ignoring each other, depleting our energy, getting into such a bad energy, negative space that we spiral downwards and don't grow from this. Life is far too short to stay in a space of disempowerment. We've got to come from love. We've got to come from gratitude. We've got to understand. And there are things that you will never be able to control. Believe us when we say this.
Oh, yeah.
If you spend your days in that locked in prison of wanting to control what you can't instead of controlling what you can, your life will just disappear, and it's far too short to waste on these moments.
I also would love to bring in the fact that success is not measured by the position you're currently in or by the money you're making. No. I would invite you to see the success and measure the success by the obstacles someone has mastered, someone was able to overcome. And these obstacles have been mastered while reaching for this success, while trying to succeed.
Absolutely love that. That resonates so much. My side of things then, listening to your voice there, Frank, took me to all kinds of people that I've respected for that. And they've played the bigger person in the end. And they may have got ridiculed for it. But truth without, as they say, when truth is there, when you stand by your word, no matter what the tempests may throw at you, the elements may throw at you, you stand for your truth. You're very, very hard to shift out the ground.
Yeah.
You're very, very hard to disempower you and move you from that place of grace. Well, I'd just like to say the make or break scenario is what we've been talking about tonight, and circumstances coming at you when you're not ready for them, when you've been coming from a place of love and giving, and you've been interpreted as coming from a place of not. Don't let this make any difference to you. Do not let this break anything about you. When you come from truth, authenticity, and gratitude, you will be the bigger person. Stand up, face it, and see it as it is.
And please stay authentic. You don't have to fake anything, because people will love you for the way you show up. People will love you for the way you are. People will love you for the values you stand for. Don't forget that.
That's brilliant, Frank. And to end on tonight, I'd just like to again say thank you very much for our listeners, and thank you very much for the subjects that we bring up, and you want us to bring the authenticity of a moment that's happened to us so we can discuss it. And that's exactly what we decided to do for episode 12 of the Higher Power podcast. So it's from me, I would like to say love, peace and blessings to you all, and thank you.
I would like to wrap up this podcast with another quote by Winston Churchill. He said, If you're going through hell, keep going. And this is exactly what we want to encourage you to do. Don't let anybody take you away from your core values and your authentic self. This is Frank and Jill signing out from where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. See you next week and spread the love, guys. Bye for now.